So this is my brake line setup. Got the three master cylinders, clutch, front brake, rear brake. And this guy goes around here through the wheel well. This guy goes down and through a couple of these little McMaster clamps and over to the passenger side. Both go through the wheel well. Nothing too crazy there, just some bending and you know, when you do that, bending wire or having some extra brake tubing to kind of figure out how to do your bends is pretty helpful. Take my dummy battery out of here, and then you can kind of see these two lines here, which are the clutch from this side, and then the rear brake. Those come down, and you can kind of see that there. I think they come straight down there. They're held by a clip right on the frame there that came off my donor that kind of holds them in place. I don't know if I can show you that a little bit better, but yeah, there you go. You can kind of see that clip that actually fits into a drilled hole in the frame, and then those two lines tuck in real close to the driver's side of the tunnel there. And yeah, so those go that way. One other thing up front here that was kind of helpful for me was on this line here. Notice I don't have the adapter that goes from the soft line and screws into the top here where this other piece is. What I did is I bought tubing with the bubble flare already on it, and then used the fitting from the Corvette, the donor, which is this fitting right here. And that allowed me to keep that real low right there so I could clear the suspension arm, because I was having issues getting the tubing bent and still clearing that suspension arm. So makes it pretty nice. You can see it clears by quite a bit right now. And then so then what, you know, that gives you the bubble flare to go directly in the soft line. And then when you get back up to the master cylinders, you just cut the tubing and do a standard inverted flare. So your tube is actually your adapter, which that actually worked out pretty slick. So anyway, and then those tubes come back through here. You can see there's a clip up there I used from the donor, and then the unions are here, and then there's another one of those McMaster clips, which those are pretty slick, and then I welded these tabs on the frame, and then that comes back, and the olive drab line comes back and goes into the top of the T, and then of course the silver line here just keeps continuing back. That goes back to the clutch slave. And then after the T, I've got some bends here. This goes off to the passenger side rear caliper, and then this goes off to the driver's side. So you can kind of see here, if I back up a little bit, I got another tab with a clip, and then you can see there's another clip there, and then the olive drab line goes up the frame member towards the caliper, and then the other silver line goes back to another mount back there that I welded on the frame. But show you here under the car, if I can get under here. So that olive drab line follows the frame, and then it goes through a clip there, keeps following the frame, goes through another clip right there, and then tucks up under the AC compressor. So lots of bends in that one. That one took me 2 tries. Had to screw up one of them to learn what I needed to do for the second one. And then if we come back here, you can see that clutch line coming back, and then you can see the angle iron welded to the frame. And this is kind of slick. This fitting that they give you in the kit has a groove in it, and what I did was just cut a hole that was, I think, 5/8 of an inch in diameter, put the fitting through, and then I bought an E-clip. I believe it's a 5/8 E-clip, and that clipped it to the angle iron. So then you kind of have like a bulkhead mount. And then you can see here that I've got the clutch slave just kind of resting there, waiting for the transmission to come into play, which is sitting right here. I'm just waiting for a buddy. That's a G5003. Waiting for a buddy to help me out with that. I think it'd be an easier job with a couple guys. And then you can see the brake line here. There's a clip right there, another one of those McMaster clips, and then that just comes right into the soft line bulkhead that's through the sheet metal, which you can kind of get a feel for there. One thing I had to do is I did have to bend these a little bit more to clear the rims, so just like kind of an FYI, I guess. But yeah, so that's going to turn out pretty slick. All that bending took a while, but I think it turned out pretty well. I did also bend, if you take a look at this here, these, actually all four of these that go to the caliper I bent a little bit further than they were already bent. The fronts was so that these lines would reach when you're at the steering stops, and the backs was mostly to clear the rims. So, but that's about it for the clutch and the brake lines. You know, a few mods from the kit, a few little added welded tabs and clips and things, but yeah, I think it'll work pretty well. I'm hoping it will, and anyway, go from there.